What is going on, everybody? I am back here with an interesting video, and I don't know if you guys remember the last video I did back when I streamed a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, somewhere around there. I did Sparking Zero, and a gentleman by the name of Michi actually just randomly popped into the beginning of my stream, and wouldn't you have it, we actually have him sitting right here in the chat right now. Which chat wise?
Yes,
let her know what's going on, dude.
what's up, guys? How y'all going? What's up? My name is Beach. You know what I'm saying? Me and this guy met on stream. It was good matches and all. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. All right. So, I kind of, how do I put it? I take the whole thing about, fighting people in terms of, getting the character of the person, like how they are and like how they go about fighting. And when I fought you, and believe me, I've been like going around Reddit and Twitter and everything, and like how people like see Sparking Zero specifically Sparking Zero, and a lot of people say that Sparking Zero, like straight up going hands, is a reason why we lose. So I wanted to get your honest thoughts on that.
Wait, they said throwing hands is why they lose. Well,
Yeah, why they lose, and it's a whole waste of time and everything.
so you want my perspective? Man, I don't think it's a waste of time throwing hands with it. I don't know what they talking about, but I enjoyed it. Me personally, I enjoy throwing hands. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they like spamming. I don't like that. That cheesing stuff. I don't mess with it, man. I don't enjoy that type of stuff. Like going to Sparky mode and start key blasting and all that. Yeah. But them hands straight up, man. I love it, man.
Couldn't agree more, because for me, I feel like the most overpowered asset is, how do I put it, Wild Sense. I feel like even after the most prevalent patch, I feel like Wild Sense is extremely overpowered. Let me know what your thoughts on specifically Wild Sense is.
Man, I hated Wild Sense. I was in ranked playing people that use Wild Sense. They used to cheese it so bad, man. Like there's some times I'd be rage quitting and stuff, man. Like I don't like it. But me personally, bro.
And for me
personally, I'll go ahead. Oh, okay. So look, for me personally though, they need to do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Not just put it out there like that, how it is.
For me personally, okay, I get it. It's part of the game. They built it and everything, right? Everybody can do whatever they want. However, I feel like there is a certain degree what it feels like it's justified. Like, okay, for an example, if you are 100% low on health and everything, and say they have, I don't know, like a bar and a half of health and all that, you want to use everything to your ability to get that win. But if you overuse it, then admittedly, you're gonna kind of look like an absolute jerk about it, in my personal opinion.
Exactly.
Now, again, I'm not saying like how you were mentioning, oh yeah, no, just 100%, get rid of it. But I feel like reducing the damage isn't enough. I feel like kind of like what they did at one point, they made like instant sparks. I don't know if you recall that in one of the patches. They made instant sparks a lot more expensive. I feel like if they up the cost for Wild Sense, I feel like they could 100%, remedy that in terms of people using it less and less.
They could, yeah, because people that use it right now, bro, they cheese it like crazy. Makes no sense.
Right.
Yeah,
You're right on
all aspects of it, though, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's like, again, I'm gonna say this in the most positive way that I can without trying to look like a jerk about it. Like, again, everything is set in the game. Developers want it to be in the game specifically, to have fun with it. But I feel like it's a little bit too unbalanced in a sense. And like, again, Wild Sense is the biggest plaguing aspect of the whole game. But then I feel like even offense can still be a huge punishment, which you would think for a arena-based fighter like this, you think it wouldn't be that big of a problem, but how they put things together, like, again, this is going to be bold of me to say, but it almost feels, I don't know, say lazy, because I feel like that's an overused term, but I feel like it was a huge oversight of how they like handled fighting as a whole in terms of like offense feels like it's a dangerous game to play, if that makes any
Right.
sense.
Yeah, you make it. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, I love how they have a game visually, but of how you essentially interact with each other. I feel like it could be so much more, and it just feels like it misses the mark a good majority of the time. Hell, like, there's a lot of inconsistent aspects when you fight each other, right? Where,
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
you know, when you do the sidestepping and all that, which, don't get me wrong, is great and everything, but again, if you okay, real quick, do you know a YouTuber by the name of Lotus Osakura? Do you know him or not?
Nah, I don't know.
Okay, well, he essentially covered a article, and I'll probably reference it somewhere here in the video right now, but I actually did watch the video, and there is a lot of veterans back in the like PS2 era, or the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi veterans back then. Like, they referenced that game a lot, and there's a lot of elements, because they specifically stated that this was supposed to be his huge successor in those games mentioned. Like, it doesn't feel like it, and
Yeah, I'm about to say it doesn't
thinking
feel like
more
it.
on it, I can see a lot of like the valid complaints on it, and I want to know your honest thoughts of like the contrasting differences between the PS2 Budokai series and then up into the modern Scorpion Zero.
I ain't gonna catch you.
Completely off.
PS2, I never touched Budokai, but
Okay.
but my thoughts on the new Sparking,
Yeah.
to me, it fell off of me, man. Like after the patch, I just stopped playing it. Like, I don't know,
That's fair,
man.
honestly.
I wasn't feeling it after the patch, man. Like really. But I don't know. I might start back playing it though. No, I don't know, man. I might give it back a chance. But at this time though, I don't know right now. It's like a it's like a 7. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. What you think, man?
For me, it's one of those things. It's like it's a love-and-hate relation, and I only say love-and-hate relation because it's more in line with the players. And here's the thing, I can care less of how people literally play, right? Like, there's obviously the whole concept of people adapting. That's fine. That doesn't bother me. But what bothers me is yes, power scaling is prevalent, which is another topic we're going to touch here in a moment. But like, when people are being bested and literally can't handle it, people ultimately just decide to just automatically disconnect, which I don't know how or why this became a huge like prevalent thing in terms of overall like an ego type of thing, but it's very discouraging, and it discourages a lot of motivation to get a high rank. And I understand, you know, rank is just but a representation of what you worked for, but it doesn't, you know, represent your actual legitimate skill, because, you know, matchmaking is a huge, and I mean very huge, like subjective thing in which that, like, you know, you work up to a certain point, but what does that really truly like mean to you and others? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know. My play rank, man, huge disconnect. It made me mad, bro, cause like I wasn't really getting no points for that. You know what I'm saying? But to the people that's really good at the game, if you ranking up, keep the grind up, man. I mean, I ain't trying to stop your grind, but me personally, I don't enjoy the game no more. But if you enjoy the game, you keep playing that more. Keep gaming.
Right. And for me, like, okay, let me ask a more specific question. Like, do you think the rank that people have, for an example, like I'm a B4 for an example, and like somebody comes up to me as like an A1 for an example, and for people that don't understand the concept of ranks and all that in this game, it starts out as a D4 I believe, or D5. Yeah, that's like the bottom of the barrel, like rank.
Yeah.
That's like essentially new player territory. So me as a B4 and an A1, that's like at the very like inch away from being, I believe, a Z rank
Yeah,
player.
as a
So,
B4, why is you playing the A1? You know what I'm saying? That's right there. I don't know.
right, they could be an A1, but they could just be using fusion. You know what I'm saying? They could be using
Ooh.
Fusion,
Yeah,
and
we right.
I could be using, for like an example, Goku Black.
Look,
You know,
yeah,
I can
duh.
absolutely abuse the assets he has, but I choose not to. I choose to use the knowledge I have of the game and use it against him. That's where my question comes. Does rank truly represent what you're truly capable of? Is where I'm getting at.
No, because you gotta think about it. You got people that can pick Ultra Instinct Goku, OP. Come on now, why? You got people that gonna pick Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like why? Some people play with regular characters and win. You know what I'm saying? Rank up. You know what I'm saying? But some people will go to the limit to get OP characters just to get to Z. Like why?
And there has been cases where people have actually run up to me as those mentioned characters you just stated, where, you know, mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, everything like that, and I still kick their ass.
Yeah. See. Yeah. I did the
So-
same. Yep. I can understand that.
That's where my question mainly was like, does rank truly represent who you are and like what type of player you are? You know what I'm saying?
No sir. No sir, it does not.
And another
Look,
thing
you
too,
say
like,
you can meet somebody on Z rank, but what if they suck? They've been using like a fusion or something, but they suck and you beat them. That wouldn't mean they
that's
Z,
a good
right?
point actually. Yeah, that's a good point. And a lot of people too, like for an example, use Z Broly specifically. Apparently he's a powerhouse too.
Yo, they be spamming with him, man. I hate that. Yo.
Right. For me, like, and that's where the whole like power scaling comes into play, because, okay, so this is going to be a two-part question, right? So, how do you feel about the whole fact that this game essentially has no concept of balance?
I feel like they could have did something about that, like put some balance in the game or something, but they didn't. They just threw the characters in there. Hey, y'all pick what y'all want. But how I feel about it, I feel like they should have just did that. Cause now people can just pick OP characters and, you know what I'm saying, spam you with cheese or something. You'll get mad at the game, blah blah blah. You know.
Right. Yeah.
How do you feel? How you feel about it?
Honestly, this whole opinion, again, is a very big licks back, right? A lot of people deserve to have a very fair and honest and balanced game. For an example, one game I can think off the top of my head that I am somewhat consistent in is Tekken 8 specifically.
Okay.
Tekken 8 specifically, and you know, yeah, everybody has their own unique quirks about them that makes them unique, different, varied, all of those things. But the whole thing about balancing is, you know, consistent. Whereas Spark Zero, I remember hearing a quote from the developer, and they said that, yeah, no, there's going to be no concept of balance, except there's going to be power scaling and power scaling accuracy for Sparking Zero. And initially at the time, I didn't think it was going to be much of an issue. I thought a lot of people would have been informed by that, but you honestly would be surprised of how many people actually didn't know about that one key fact. The game wasn't going to have balancing.
Mm.
Now, do I have a problem with that? Honestly, it's very subjective. Me personally, I don't have a problem with it because it makes you kind of like really live those moments and kind of make like your all personal headcanon. You know what I'm saying? For an example,
Right.
like Ultimate Gohan going against, Super Boo, for an example. Getting that rematch, and you actually get that freaking rematch in your head, but not from the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's like little, very niche things where it seems super duper badass. But other than that, the charm of that kind of slowly disappears pretty quickly. So, like, what do you want to see change or added into Sparking Zero as a whole? Like, what's your wish list?
Oh, good question. That's a good question. First of all, they probably need some balance in the game. I don't know. But to me, let me see. Let me think. I might need you to go. Let me think, man. I don't know really. Cause I don't really play the game no more.
Nah, you're good. Nah, you're good. You're good. Well, you know what? Let me share a few thoughts in my head for what I think actually would be, helpful in the game. Unless you already figured it out. Maybe.
Okay. Go ahead, bro. Damn.
For me, I feel like what we talked about at the beginning of this whole thing is I feel like Wild Sense needs to be 3 times more expensive.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I feel like sidestepping when you try to attack, I feel like needs to be more reliable because there's a lot of times where I think I have them and the tracking on sidestepping with a follow-up attack isn't consistent, in my personal opinion.
You're right about that. Yeah.
And everything in terms of go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
And my only thing too is just overall, it's just like defensive options. I feel like a perception check, for an example, I feel like can be very overused, and I feel like the perception stance needs to have some form of a huge cooldown interval,
They do because
reset.
some people be holding it, waiting for you to attack. Some people be just holding it.
Right.
Wow.
So with that all in mind, can you think of anything you want to see changed in Sparking Zero?
They don't pass the side still, so I can't say that. I don't really know, bruh. Everything, I don't know. You probably cover everything. I ain't got nothing in my mind.
Here's my biggest defining issue for this game, and I feel like, okay, are you familiar with the game No Man's Sky?
Okay, yeah.
Alright, so bear with me with this type of comparison. Now, I'm fully aware these 2 games are 2 different entities, 2 different genres and everything, so I'm fully aware, but just bear with me with the comparison. So, I feel like this is, in a sense, how do I put it? Comeback potential? I see potential because No Man's Sky 100% flopped. Not only up our expectations, but the promises.
It did flop.
I feel like
heard about
Sparking
it.
Zero is. I feel like Sparking Zero, in the sense, is in that particular situation.
Oh, it
In the
is, man.
sense of where
It is. To me, it's flopping, but it's not flopping all the way. It's flopping though, but it's still playable. You know what I'm saying? But they need to be some changes in the game though. But it's still enjoyable, but sometimes it ain't enjoyable, man.
Right. No, I feel that, and right now, as it stands currently, they are currently prioritizing or try to push out overall content for the game. And of all things, by the way, and I get it, it's the last thing that the creator of Dragon Ball made, which is Dragon Ball Daima.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Daima, again, I understand it's new and everything, but Daima is super duper controversial, and I feel like they could have waited a good year before everybody's opinion fully 100% like solidified.
I agree with you on that.
Like they could have honestly probably gave us more stages for the first half of this year. Honestly, they could have gotten away with that, and this game would have prospered 100 times better than, you know, what its current state is. And that's the biggest demand right now from us fans, is add more stages, add more things for us to unlock. Because you compare that, again, me personally, I played the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series religiously, and I'm not gonna lie to you, everything that's available right now is super duper depressing. Like, it is a lot of variations, but you compare that to like to the mid 2000s based games, dude, the games back then were packed full of freaking content to grind out, because you didn't have online, you didn't have the ability to fight others. If anything, if you were a very social kid back in the day, you would freaking pull up in school and be like, hey, I'm the best at this game. You would like people over, and then, you know, you settle with them. Right now, as gaming as it stands, dude, it's so much different. It's so much different that you can never comprehend. Bro. Like, a lot of people are suspecting that a good helping of developers are cutting a lot of like the excess content as DLC, what should have been full content, dude. Like the full thing right from the very launch of the game. Like, that's how bad it is. Like, nobody will ever match the nostalgia of pulling out the freaking CD-ROM of your game, freaking like putting your breath on it, and literally, or just pulling on it with your hot breast,
blowing on it, put it back in the game. Oh god, man.
Yup.
Them the days, man. I swear.
Man, dude, like, that's why, you know, like, that whole freaking topic for another day. However, but that's my point, is that content seems very lackluster in terms of like how much money you feel like that's spent, like money well spent type of thing. And that, again, was very prevalent back in the mid 2000s era.
Yep.
But now games are like literally $60-$70, and you're not even getting the full package. And you know you're not getting a full package because it's all riddled with bugs and errors, and the only way to play it is with the day one patch. But again, whole other topic for another day. But my point is, content right now for Sparky Zero is not hitting the way that we all wanted it to hit. That's the main point.
It's not.
And
they gave us characters with no stages.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. But what I want to see more is, after they essentially come out with all of Season 1 DLC, they really need to like take a step back, take all of our legitimate feedback, and just make a roadmap. Make a roadmap. Do what the hell freaking Helldivers did. I don't know if you know anything about Helldivers.
Yeah, I seen the trailer, the gameplay. I never played it.
Well, they had a roadmap, right? They had a roadmap of like all the content that they have planned. And I'm not joking you when I say this, excuse me. They literally had all the content planned out, and a lot of people felt differently about it, and they literally just canned it. They canned all the DLC that they had in mind, what the developers wanted to make, and instead they added more and more to what we wanted to see, what type of weapons we wanted to see.
So they listen to their fans.
Exactly. See, and I feel like that is like the most glaring issue of his whole like in gaming side of things, because like if you're a pro like consumer and like actually give a crap about like what you're putting out for your fans, they're gonna want to devote their like money into you. That's just how it is. But like if they do something like that with Sparky Zero, where after the DLC and everything is like concluded, done, and over with, right? I want them to make a roadmap of where we pay half of what we pay for freaking season 1. Let's be honest, because DLC is gonna get expensive these days. Let's be honest.
Yes, it is. No reason. Crazy.
But if they do that, right, then what we want is an overhaul of the battle system. And when I mean like an overhaul, I mean like fix how we move, fix how resources are being spent. That's what we want to see. Make the overall movement feel natural. Like, oh, this guy is coming at me with like a dash-based super. Let me do a maneuver where I can get behind him where it doesn't punish the user. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it feel like a true Jack-and-Ball game. Make it feel where like what you do feels like straight out of a freaking anime. Do things where it like adds more layers to the combat.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. You're not lying about that. All the things you said was correct. Like the movement they need to fix the movement on there low key. I mean, it's alright, but they could do more with the movement on there. The stages too. Yeah, they can add more stages though. Cause they should have put the stages on DLC too, man. I ain't did that. They should have made stages, put them on the dropped it with Dama. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I you know what I enjoyed on that game? I really enjoyed the what ifs too for the story mode.
Right.
I don't know if you really enjoyed them, but I enjoyed them. But everything you said was correct, man.
Overall, I feel like in the state of the game, like in terms of like pure looks, it looks great. It's basically like what we hoped visually. However, when it comes to actually getting down to it and fighting in general, they really did miss the mark on that, unfortunately. Now, however, I want to make it very clear, and I want to make it very, very like evidence that we're not here to shit on the games. We're not here to downplay Sparky Zero.
Yeah.
On a very basic level, it's still fun. You can get away with just reenacting epic moments from the anime, but for people like you and me, for an example, that want more from the game, that want this game to essentially be the new Dragon Ball Xenoverse, let's be honest.
Yeah. Right. It might as well
we
be
have to
number
make
3.
stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, but let's be honest, they're not going to make a Xenoverse 3. People have been holding on to that for over 10 years.
They're not. Yeah, they already make Sparky. They ain't gonna make no Xenoverse 3.
No, but you know what is nice though, and honestly, a blessing in disguise, is the modding community. Have you seen the amount of mods that came out for PC, by the way?
Bro, I seen them, bro. I'm like, wow, I wish I could get them on my console. That's so crazy.
That's the thing. And I absolutely loved Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And dude, I have on a PC, dude, and it's a blessing in disguise, because we ended up getting Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo thanks to the modding community.
Oh, damn. Hey, that's what I like. That's why I need to get me a PC for Dragon Ball Sparky, do mods. Cause PC player, I know they be having fun modding on that mode. I be seeing I seen Super Saiyan what's it? I seen Super Saiyan 4 Goku Ultra Instinct. What? In the heck?
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. But overall, like, man, that's the one thing that I feel like is it shouldn't be a thing, but it's a thing where like if the main community, like for the game, like company-wise, I mean, like doesn't fulfill what we want, the freaking modding community will do just that, and they do it with such ease, man. Like overall, going back to what we're saying in terms of like what we want, I feel like it should be 3 bullet points, right? It should be better overall lootlet and combat. That's the one bullet point overall. And overhaul everything in terms of the concept of balancing. That's the second bullet point. In terms of wild sense and what was the other ability? The one where you like teleport behind them? Forget which one that was.
That's God. Is it transmission? Is that it?
No, it's.
Was it you teleport behind them?
After image. That's what it was called.
Oh, after image. Oh yeah, that's a spamming move too, man. I forgot you forgot to mention that.
But to their credit, they did find a way to get that counter. So
they did.
To their credit, they did. But my point is, yeah, overhaul and all that, like the whole concept of balancing in general, and just give us content that we really want and listen to the fans. That should be the third bullet point, because here's the thing. A lot of companies are very money hungry, and I understand, games are getting really, really expensive to like produce. I get it, animation's not cheap, voice acting is not cheap, everything in between is not cheap. I get it. But you also got to remember, if you want a game to succeed, you want to think pro-consumer.
You got to listen to your fans too. You know what I'm saying? You want games to succeed.
Exactly. That's another thing too. Listen to your fans. And this game will undoubtedly freaking flourish in ways that, you thought the numbers were good right at the start. The numbers are going to probably triple if you announce something groundbreaking.
Imagine they listen to their fans, they could probably get triple the amount they had when the game first came out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to their credit, the game is still great. It's still fine. But videos like this, where we voice our concerns and frustrations, and it goes to the right person and all that, that's gonna be the move, like make it or break it. If you like do everything that we basically list here, dude, it's gonna be a whole new game altogether. And
it is, man.
If you guys, real quick before I forget, if you guys totally agree with me, by the way, drop a comment on what we didn't cover, what you guys thought, and what you guys want to see overall in terms of future content for this game. Drop me a comment down below. But anyway, I digress. So I've already stated like a majority of my perspective. Let me share some of your points and like how you feel. And I kind of did a little bit, but now that you kind of get an idea of what I'm generally going over, like what are your wishes, like your personal wishes, and what you want to see, whether it be content or overall just for the game's sake.
All right, let's see. I want to see new maps. I want to see smoother movement, right? I want to see Wild Sins get like a nerf or something. Not too bad of a nerf, but a nerf. You feel me? Maybe.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's it for me.
No, I mean I basically covered all bases really, and like how people like to essentially like say, oh, you fight a certain way, that's the reason why you lose, and everything in between. I just feel like that's really not much of a prevalent topic enough to really express our concerns on, because honestly, how you play, everybody's play style is very, very unique.
Different.
And whether or not you want to essentially entertain a thought, that's completely up to them,
You're right though. Yeah.
Because here's how I see it. Like, if you're trying to dictate of how to play the game to what you you specifically take is more optimal, then okay, like that's optimal for you, but somebody else gets more enjoyment in terms of like playing their own way. You know what I'm saying? And if the
Yeah.
other person gets frustrated and everything, and why they're losing, then that's their fault. That's their, personal problem as to why, they're losing, and their fault, really, honestly, for why they're losing, and they refuse to adapt. And at that point, that's all on them. That's not your fault. You're not the problem. They're the problem. Honestly, they really are.
Right.
But I feel like, as much as I do love this game, and I have a pretty good perception of how things typically turn out, and I'm like about maybe 70% accurate when I see things like this, but I'm not super accurate. But I will say this: I feel like in the current direction of where Sparking Zero is headed, I feel like it could be another Dragon Ball Fighter Z incident where the game starts out so strong,
Then it just flops.
and it just it doesn't flop. It was very consistent all 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But the thing is that I feel like with Sparking Zero's case, if they keep going the route that they're going, it could be worse than that. That's where I'm getting
That's
at.
gonna get boring. You know that, right? It's gonna get boring. They keep going the way they doing.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I feel like my point that I made earlier in this whole chat, if they 100%, like, how do I put it? If they focus on content and content alone, this game's gonna flop within the second year.
Yeah. You might be right about that one. I can see it. The second year they don't do nothing about this.
However, the creator did say they wanna to support it for like the next 10 years. And that's a very, very bold statement. However, they do listen to their fans, but not to the extent that we want them to. Like, they're listening to the more glaring issues, but what's more of an issue is how people essentially play with each other and how they win games. Hell, dare I say, even tournament level freaking like plays is really boring even right now. I don't know if you ever heard that exploit where, like, with the androids, where if someone isn't sparking and you avoid it, the androids can just dash up and down, up and down, up and down with no repercussions. I don't know if you heard about
Yes. Is that like recent?
that. Yeah, no, they 100% nerfed that to the ground. They can't do that with androids anymore.
What? I did not know that.
Like you could, but it's a lot harder. That's what I'm saying. They nerfed it to the ground, basically.
Wow.
So,
See,
like I said, go ahead.
I say that's why I stopped really playing it, because it's not like the game's not. I don't know, man. Like sometimes I enjoy it, but I don't know what they're doing right now to it. It's iffy. But go ahead, man. I don't know.
Like, as everything stands right now for the game, like, they're listening. And again, this is the last time I'm going to mention this. Like, we love the game, but
Yep.
if we really do love something, then we have to voice our concerns, right? In order to do that, we
Right.
need to approach this in a very healthy mindset, not negative, because I don't believe in that. If you want to help something, then you have to be willing to express yourself in a way that seems very, like, not productive, but positive in a sense where you hit the points that are the most, like, outlining issues. You hit those points in a way that they understand, hey, yeah, maybe this actually is an issue. Maybe we should actually take that approach and actually, actively make those changes. And I'm a firm believer in that. People on the other hand that don't feel the same way, well, then that's their loss. That's just the fact of it,
Right. Hey, like, I don't know the game. I mean, the games, it's cool. I love the game. No hate on the game though, man. But they gotta listen to the fans sometimes, man. They listen to them, but not like to the extent of what we saying. You feel me? But
Right. right? And I feel like if they like really just focus in on all the points that we essentially talked about, I think the game does literally, and no pun intended, have a fighting chance of being something special.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna say this for what it is and how I see it and feel. But the fact that this is a game that we waited like 10 plus years for, or literally it's the biggest fumble that we've ever seen Red Eye Namco ever publish. Let's be honest. It's a really, really bad look on Bandai. Let's be honest.
It is.
Well, in terms of specifically Dragon Ball, all the other games that they put out, anime-wise, has been great. I want to see that right now. Like, there's games like Grand Blue, there's games like One Piece, you know, Bleach, and all those other games like that are really, really good. But for this most recent release, this year specifically, Sparking Zero, let's be quite frank, we got done dirty for this game specifically.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad to see that because we were hyped for this game. 10 plus years in the making, and we were met with this, you know?
Everybody waited on this. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, man. It was a good game at launch, though. Good, though. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
So, real quick, for those wondering, yes, I actually did come out with a new video series. Guys, I haven't already watched it. It's up right there at the top right with the iron. Epic Badass Moments series. Currently, of a current time of the recording, I just released episode 4. You guys want to watch it, you guys can, you know, again, click on the eye in the top right. But my main point is that, you know, I'm still going to push out content for the game just because it's a very relevant new Dragon Ball game. But at times of me streaming it, I don't know if I actually will be streaming it again, mainly because I'm not happy with it in its current state. Neither is Michi. We're both very not happy with this game.
Kind of like disappointed right now. That's what I am.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And, you know, again, you know, it's really unfortunate, depressing, and, you know, all those negative things. And we just want what's best for the game. Granted, we're not developers, but if we only have wishes we hope that would be, you know, fulfilled.
Could get out
That's
there,
all we want.
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
If we ever get those wishes granted, man, like, this game would have such a huge turnaround. Huge turnaround.
Massive turnaround, man. Like,
exactly.
It'll be crazy.
But do what No Man's Sky did, where they ended up fulfilling their promises, and then they added so much more quality of life updates to where now the game is a huge booming success. If we get something like that with Sparking Zero, this game will live on for the next few decades. And I really want that to be a thing. Because this game is severely underrated, but as it stands now and its current state, it is pretty damn valid for it being underrated, but or is it overrated? No, I think it's overrated. Yeah, overrated.
Yeah.
I get that mixed up, my bad. But my point is, it's severely overrated, but where it stands, it's relevant, is where I'm getting at. So again, Meech, do you want to add anything? Again, you know, want to finish it up here, or anything you want to bring up that I didn't cover?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of stuff. I don't think we good though. I think we covered most of it. But no hate on the game, guys. No hate on the game. Or no hate.
Absolutely.
It just we want some things changed around. You know what I'm saying?
So, with that, I think that's going to be a good collision point for this whole video. Michi, thank you so much for taking the time out of your whole schedule for sitting down with me, just having it overall, like, you know, one-to-one conversation, what our thoughts are on this game. And
Anytime, bro. You need another interview, ask me, bro. I'm here.
Heck yeah, man. And you know, like I said, like kind of like the whole thing in the beginning of the video, you get to know people, what you fight them, and what type of person they really are.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
can tell
you do.
you were a really authentic person fighting him. You know.
Appreciate that, man.
So as always, you guys down below, I'm gonna link his channel, and right here, right beside me, I'm gonna put his little channel badge so you guys can go over, give him a sub, and all that. Meech, we're basically at the conclusion of today's video. Aside from what we talked about, what else do you want to talk about outside of Sparking Zero?
Oh yeah. Plan on dropping like any other video soon?
Me? Yeah, but this video actually, now that I just realized it, as of about, I want to say a week and a half, I actually freaking hit 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
So
bro.
that's a huge
I seen, bro.
accomplishment.
I about to say congrats, my boy. My boy made 100, boy. That's a good, bro.
Heck
Keep
yeah,
the grind,
man.
bro.
Dude, it is
Don't
not
stop.
easy, man. It's not easy.
It's not, bro. Took me a minute to get 100 too, bro. I feel you on this. I understand.
But I do have a few ideas. I have a few ideas to really drive that celebration home. And this video is kind of like, yeah, I did it, yay, but I'll come up with something. I'll come up with something. And what that is, it's gonna be an absolute freaking showstopper. So yeah. Again, Michi, thank you so much for hanging out, having this call,
Thank you, bro.
discussion. And with that, if you guys liked it, give it a like. Drop a comment down below what you guys thought of this whole video. And with that, I have been Hand of Steel, and I have been here with Michi.
Yes, sir.
See you guys later.